What's up, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. If you want, you could just play the video that I did 2 weeks ago because it's probably going to be exactly the same thing. First off, just pulling off the victory feels awesome. You got to 4-3. Winning is a great deodorant. You covered up a lot of areas that were just absolutely awful. But we'll start with the defense because the defense played out of their mind. They had the one drive coming out of the second half with just the stupid personal foul penalties. You have Jermaine Johnson, jumping on the quarterback at the very end, which extends the drive. Should have only been a field goal. And then you get the touchdown. So you go down 10-7. And I think that kind of changed the game plan a little bit, at least from an offensive perspective, where you had the lead at first. You were up 7-3. The Giants didn't even have a quarterback. So as far as ground and pound and just trying to protect the lead, run out the clock, you really couldn't do that because you needed to score points. So you give the defense a lot of credit. Again, aside from that one drive, they completely shut out the Giants. The one field goal that the Giants did have was because of a Zach Wilson fumble, which set them up in Jets territory. They didn't even get a first down on the drive. So that was the Giants' 10 points right there. So once again, the defense absolutely stands on their head, plays an absolutely amazing game. Hats off to them. Hats off to special teams as well. Tom Morstad, had 11 punts today. I think 3 of them inside the 5-yard line. He was amazing. Greg Zuerlein, obviously, clutch at the end. But the giant elephant in the room will remain the New York Jets offense. And you can't count on playing a quarterback that can't throw the ball, where you get negative 8 yards or negative 1 yard passing, whatever it was for the Giants. You can't depend on that to help you to victory every week. We saw that it was very difficult to establish a running game when you don't have a deep vertical passing attack. Saleh acknowledged in his press conference just how bad the Jets' third down offense is, which at one point in the game, I believe they were 0 for 11. I think they finished maybe 2 of 14, 2 of 15. I don't have the exact numbers on me now. But the third down offense is just terrible. Obviously they dealt with a lot of adversity. You lose Schweitzer, and then you lose McGovern. So then you have Newman come into the game at guard. Then he's got to switch over to center. So obviously a lot of different pieces shuffling around. And for the first drive or two, I wasn't even looking at Zach Wilson at that point. He had made a couple good throws. He took a big hit, completed one to Garrett Wilson, had a few other good throws to Lazard, although some of them were dropped. So to me, this was a game where you could actually look at some drops, and you could actually look at the offensive line, and you could even look at the play calling to a certain extent and say those were all areas that could have been better. But the biggest factor in the Jets not scoring points to me was still the quarterback, because as the game started to progress a little bit, he had time to throw the ball. They rolled him out a few times. There was a few times where he did have a clean pocket for 3 seconds, and he just doesn't get rid of it. And some of the stupid sacks that he took, the game should have been over. The game should have been over. He took the one dumb sack, I think, right before the 2-minute warning, which put him at 2nd and 20. They get some of the yards back, and then 4th and 10. How do you just take a sack in that position? Throw it up, let somebody make a play, maybe you get a flag, but instead he loses 15 yards. So again, ultimately, did any of it matter? No. The Jets got the win. I don't know what the Giants were doing at the very end. Instead of kicking the field goal, I thought they should have ran some kind of toss play, try to take a few extra seconds off the clock. But instead, you try to kick the field goal. You end up going backwards 7 yards, and then the offsides penalty. The offsides penalty that gave the Jets a free first down after the Lazard catch. I believe it was Lazard. So you're at midfield and you get a free first down, which takes the clock down to 17 seconds. And then actually it was Lazard on the second catch who, starts. Actually, I was a little nervous where he kept running, and you're watching the clock from, 10, 9, 8. Luckily, everybody learned from the mistake in Denver. They ran up to the ball. They got it spiked with 1 second. So you credit the team for obviously getting the win. But my point from, 2 weeks ago that we had a lot of back and forth on and a lot of fights about on this channel, I don't think this kind of way of winning, I don't think it's sustainable. You can win, yes, with great defense. You can win with ground and pound. But obviously today, the running game was pretty much non-existent. They struggled to run. Zach did make some good throws at times, did miss some wide open receivers, in the flat, on some other throws. So to me, he's way too inconsistent. And ultimately, the bar is set at a point where if the defense gives up 1 touchdown, you're in danger of losing the game. And if not for the injury with DeVito, do you really still have a chance to win this one? So a lot of things that you can look at, a lot of things that you can question. You're happy to get to 4-3. Again, winning is an absolutely phenomenal deodorant. You love the fact that the team found a way to pull it out at the end when they had no business at all winning this game. Apologies if we were too negative during the stream. But at the end of the day, you found a way to get it done, and that's all that matters. You extend your season for another week. but I'll continue to say it that this is not yet Zach Wilson's team. He still has to do a lot more in order to earn starting week by week by week. Now, you're on a 3-game winning streak right now. Yeah, you're not going to do anything drastic. You're not going to make any significant changes. But I'll keep asking, is he really responsible for any of these wins? Would the Jets not be 5-2 if they had a different quarterback in there, especially for the Patriot game? And this game was definitely another one that they had no business at all winning, yet they found a way to do it. The same way 2 weeks ago against the Eagles, Tony Adams gets the pick, runs it back to the 8, they let us walk in, we find a way to win that one. So at some point, your quarterback is probably going to need to make plays to win you the game. And yes, he did make some plays in that final drive when the Jets shouldn't have even had the ball, but he made the throws. Giants were sitting in prevent. They didn't think we were going to go 50 yards or 50-plus yards in a matter of 20-plus seconds, but they got it done. So it makes it difficult, obviously, to evaluate the game because what you saw for pretty much 59 and a half minutes was incompetent offensive play, while your defense was standing on their head, with another backup quarterback that literally the Giants were scared to throw the football with. They were literally scared to throw the football. And, we've had Zach now. He's in year 3. He's, started now a number of games this year. He should be a little bit further along. And, yes, the offensive line had their injuries. I think the play calling should have been better. There's a lot of different factors you can look at. The penalties were obviously a killer at times. The offsides from Michael Clemens, which, delayed the Giants' drive another 5 minutes. That was a killer at the end as well. But they overcame all of it. They found a way to get the win. You live on for another week. So, talk to you guys later.